It's time for the Fort Mill Magazine podcast.
It's September 26, 2012. I'm Tracy Roman.
And I'm Emily Wyatt, and I'm exhausted.
I am too. What the heck?
Last week wiped us out.
Well, and it seemed like even longer than a week, because normally we work Monday through Friday.
It was like overtime.
Yeah. We were working third shift because most of the days we came in and then went home, changed, came back, and then we're out all night. Like we were party animals or something.
Yeah, and we're not.
No. And we had to wear heels.
All night long.
All night.
5 to 6 hours a night.
For
all week.
Days. Since Tuesday.
Do you have feeling in your toes yet?
No. My right foot, the middle toes, the three middle toes, the three sisters, they're numb.
Still?
Yeah, I feel them more, but
wow.
It's definitely a nuisance.
That's some nerve damage.
I think so. I've damaged my toes. And that was from Saturdays. The heels that I wore on Saturdays was Saturday night was
That's what did you in?
The highest.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Trying to look like one of them there models. I don't know. But them things were killing my feet.
Yeah. I ended up taking mine off Saturday night and just going barefoot.
Right.
I have no shame.
We were smart. A couple of nights we brought flats or flip-flops to change into.
And we didn't really use them, though. Except for the night that we went out afterwards to grab a bite to eat. But, I mean, that's the only time I changed into them during the event. I
think Saturday was rough on me because that was the night
that was a long night.
And we had a recyclable dress. I had already been down there. All this happened at the NC Music Factory at the Real Work Studio. And they had us go down there 3 times because we had to drop off the dress because we had our recyclable dress. We had to drop off the dress, and then we had to come back and dress the model. And then we had to come back again for the night's events. And when we got there, I had to keep going backstage and standing. Normally if we get in and we just sit down for the whole evening.
Yeah.
And then just have to walk out. Well, then that's no big deal.
You went to the after party afterwards, too.
Yeah.
And, I didn't get home until 1.
It was 3:30 in the morning.
That's ridiculous.
Craziness.
You can blame Lois for that.
Yeah, he made me go. But it was good. We met all kinds of wonderful people.
We did.
We had such a great time with Mina Dillon, who is the manager of Bijuju. Did a phenomenal job as our fashion correspondent, and we want to thank her.
Again.
I can't thank her enough. she was so wonderful interviewing.
Yeah,
she
awesome.
Interviewed everybody, volunteers, designers, models.
I still need to watch those videos.
Yeah, and that's why we're really tired. And Emily's not going to get a break because she's got to edit
all
video.
All the pictures and all of that video.
And then everybody on our Facebook is like, when can we see the video? No pressure.
No, none at all. No.
But we've got lots of wonderful things happening, and we're definitely drawing a lot of interest in our area.
Yeah.
And so that's wonderful for Fort Mill, wonderful for us here at Fort Mill Magazine. And we have a very special guest today.
Yes, we do.
It is Lenny Bedford from Lyons Jewelers. Lenny is the manager over there, and he's going to educate us today on gems, because I know nothing.
Neither do I.
But we're going to know something when this is all over. Hi, Lenny.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in to see us today.
It's good to be here.
So this is your first ever podcast, right?
Absolutely.
Are you nervous?
No, not really.
That's because we're super friendly, right?
I thought I would be, but I'm not.
Yeah, we try and have lots of fun around here. We probably have too much fun.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Work hard, play hard.
Work hard, play hard.
Better too much, not enough.
That's right. That should be your motto now, right?
We do the same thing at the store.
Well, I had the pleasure of visiting your store yesterday, and it is quite lovely.
Thank you.
That area, it's called Phillips Landing, right?
Phillips Place.
Phillips Place, sorry.
Right. We're right beside P.F. Chang's.
Right beside P.F. Chang's, and that is on Fairway.
But on Fairview.
Fairview. I'm getting it all wrong.
That's okay. That's what I'm here
Fairview, which is the road that runs in front of the South Park Mall.
for. Absolutely. It's right at the Sharon and Fairview Road intersection.
Right. And there's a lot of big structures there. Is there a hotel there or something? What is that?
There is. You have the Hampton Inn that's right there at that intersection. Well, it's in Phillips Place, and then there's also a movie theater at the other end of the street. So it's
Wow.
Yeah,
it's a really nice area, and you have a lot of other businesses there, Dean and DeLuca, and some of the other ones.
Right.
Very, very nice area.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods just opened actually, and they're doing a tremendous business.
Oh, wow. So you've got like everything there that anybody could ever want.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
No need to go in the mall.
No, oh, well, they would be upset.
I'm just
But we
kidding.
don't care because it's our show. We can talk about whatever and we can say whatever we want.
Outstanding.
As long as it's PG-13, okay?
Correct. No problem.
I have to monitor myself, so you have to monitor yourself.
I can do that.
So, Lyons Jewelers, how long have you been here? And has that been the original location, the only location?
No, Lyons Jewelers was located in another location in Charlotte. They actually at one time had two other stores, one in Ballantyne and one in the Cornelius area, the Lake Norman area.
Okay.
The company that I worked for and ended up coming to Charlotte to run the Lyons Jewelers store were owned by Windsor Jewelers out of Augusta. And Windsor has been in business for several years. I mean, Donnie Thompson, the owner, has owned them for probably 20 years, and the business has just done fantastic. And one of the probably top 10 private jewelers in the nation. And so I came here to run this store for Donnie, and I was really, really impressed. I grew up here in Charlotte, so this was like a homecoming for me. And my family had been visiting here because I still have brothers and sisters that live in this area, and so my family had been, visiting here for years, so they were familiar with the area. So
Right.
I was going to relocate to Augusta, but when this position opened, it was a much easier transition for my family and myself to come to Charlotte. So
Wonderful.
here I am.
And here you are. And you are the store manager, correct?
That's correct.
That's correct. Now, we learned about Lyons Jewelers firsthand from a previous podcast guest who you're probably very familiar with, Rita Miles.
Okay.
Rita Miles is the founder of Charlotte Scene, and they just had their big Charlotte Scene Fashion Week
Right.
this past week, and we were very involved in that. It was our first time ever being involved in, a fashion event. So we were quite excited. But when she came here to do a podcast, she showed us this macked out, beautiful ring. It was like the size of a dime. And she said that she designed it herself and
Right.
had y'all make it.
Right.
And it was just exquisite. Can you tell us a little bit about the behind the scenes of Rita's ring?
Well, we have a designer that really can, if you have an idea, can make that materialize for you. And he does a fantastic job. And he has a really good program that everything is designed digitally, so the detail in some of these settings are just, spectacular. But we do quite a bit of design work. But, we also have some of your other lines as far as Tacori and some of your higher lines in bridal and also anniversary settings. Mm-hmm. But we do quite a bit of custom work, and we can make your dreams come true, and whatever you want to design, we can make it happen.
Right. So the request to do stuff like that is pretty often.
If someone, has a picture or whatever, and people do that quite frequently because they want something unique. They don't want something that they're going to see someone else wearing.
Right. I would think that would be more prevalent in, say, like wedding sets. Is that true?
It is. But then there's also people that, take, because unfortunately we have situations in life where relationships don't last. And but they don't want to give up those diamonds and so forth that they had from that relationship. So they make something completely different so they can have a fresh piece that they can move on in life with.
Oh, so they are recycling.
Exactly.
Wow, that's very green.
That's interesting. Yes. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, that's really interesting.
So you guys could have had like a recycled piece, because we in the Charlotte Fashion Week, Saturday was the recyclable fashion show, and we made a dress out of magazine covers, and there were other businesses there. So you guys could do something like that for next year. Be in the recyclable fashion show.
That'd be really cool.
We could do something like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like the Victoria's Secret bra that was studded with diamonds. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Can't remember how many years.
I
do. Do they do that every year?
I don't know.
Kind of.
They weren't real diamonds.
They weren't?
I don't think so.
Well, Lenny could do real diamonds.
We can do anything.
That would be a very expensive recyclable dress.
It would be very expensive. Can you imagine all the guards? There'd have to be bodyguards everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of diamonds, you have a different process or something on how you get diamonds, or is it how they're graded? Like, explain to me, like, how you do things differently at your store in relationship to diamonds.
Well, what we try to do, because we can get anything that any customer desires as far as, but what we try to stay away from, there are some grading companies out there that push the envelope quite a bit against, like for your color and your clarity and this, that, and the other, and they may be off quite a bit. We try to stick with some of the more prominent graders, such as GIA, which is Gemological Institute of America, International Gemological Institute, which, even GIA has overseas grading facilities, but they hold themselves to a very high standard, as well does EGL USA. There's several different graders that really do promote the high standards, but there are those out there that really do push the envelope. And most of the time, what we do is if we have a diamond come in, and even though it's been graded by one of these respected companies, we will put it on what we have is called a colorimeter, and it will basically match that color, or we can tell if it's within a desired range of what it needs to be, so that the certificate is accurate. Mm-hmm. And we try to make sure that takes place, because the last thing I want to do is have anybody ever walk out of the store with something other than what they believe it to be.
Right.
I don't want anything misrepresented ever, and that's the thing.
Right.
It's very important.
Right. So it's the grading process that you do at the store that's different from any other. Is that right?
Well, we all we do is we check everything to make sure that it is what the certificate says it is.
Okay.
Okay. I've had diamonds come in from people that are actually selling their jewelry that they may have a certificate, and it may say that the diamond is a VS quality, okay, as far as the clarity, VS or VS 1 or 2, and it may say that it's a G in color. Well, I've put some of those on my colorimeter, and it may come up to be maybe an I, okay, or a J. Mm-hmm. Well, that's two different. That's a lot. It's a lot to be off on a certificate.
Right.
So, but it's a lot of things come into the grading process. It's the lighting in the room. There's many different things that can dictate what a diamond may look like to one person, because really a grading is an opinion. Mm-hmm. Most of the graders are professional in what they do, and they're very good at it, but they grade many different things. They grade the color, they grade the clarity, they grade the cut on like a round diamond. And they also, you have the carat weight and different things, but it's, a lot of times these graders are completely accurate in what they're doing, but we just want to be sure. You know, it's I'd rather do too much and not enough.
Right, right.
Better
So-
safe than sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So when a supplier brings in gems to you, it goes
Correct.
through that process there
Correct.
at the store.
Yes.
And then if someone brings in, a customer brings in a piece that they want to, do you do appraisals as well? Is
We
that
do
part of
appraisals.
that?
We have a expert appraiser on the premises, and he works every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday by appointment only. Because you know he really does a very professional appraisal for insurance purposes, and so he does that, and then also I will actually have people come in that want to sell their merchandise or trade their merchandise. And I don't necessarily need an appraisal for that because I can, you know, look at the diamond and I can judge the color and so forth, put it on a colorimeter to check the color and look at it under a scope to check the clarity and make sure there's no chips or cracks and that kind of thing to actually buy a diamond.
Right. Well,
from
I never
from a
thought.
private individual.
I never thought of that. Have you ever thought about that, Emily? That they trade? So, like, if I have a ring that was given to me, say a previous marriage or whatever, and I'm sick of it,
Yeah.
Right? Just want to get rid of the memory.
instead of recycling it and creating something with that material,
You can actually
I
trade
can
it for
trade
something
it.
completely different.
wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yes.
Very cool.
Good to know.
Very good to know. Yeah. So, is there anything else in relation to like how you get diamonds or any gems that is different or interesting?
Well, we have several different vendors, but the thing is like I said, there are some graders out there that we simply don't carry their merchandise, the merchandise that comes in that's graded by these particular graders, because it just seems that it's just not accurate enough for me to bring that stock into the store, and so
Right.
I try to stay away from those. Now, however, price isn't always reflecting what you're getting, because just because you get a great price on a diamond doesn't mean that you're getting the quality that you might think that you paid for.
Right.
When we get a diamond, say it's from GIA, and everything matches up on a grading, sometimes those diamonds may cost a little more, but
Right.
you're getting what they say you're getting, and that is very important, because a lot of times if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Right.
You know, that old saying that I think we all grew up with.
Right.
And it's normally true. It's if you feel like somebody's just giving you something, well, you may want to watch out, because you never know what you're really getting.
Right. Right. Now, is there such a thing as, you know how like you can, if you're looking at a used car and you want to take it and have your mechanic look at it,
Correct.
right? And then they'll let you have your mechanic inspect it. You didn't have to buy it or anything. You just got to take it off the lot and have your mechanic look at it and come back.
Right.
Is there such a thing as having a second opinion on a piece of jewelry? Like if you go to a store and they say, yeah, this is this, this, and this, and you're like, well, I want to double check.
Well-
Is that possible? People do that?
Let me share with you what I have basically put in place. If you buy a diamond from us and it does not appraise for at least what we said it was, we'll give you your money back.
So you can purchase it and then take it to an outside appraiser.
You can do whatever you like.
And then if it doesn't meet your expectations, you can come back and get your money back.
Absolutely.
Not that
we
that'll
have.
ever-
I mean, we have 30 days anyway
Right.
on a return.
Right.
Anyway, so we kind of covered that area. If someone, but what I do and what we always do is you're always going to look at the diamond under a scope. I will put it on the colorimeter. I will do those things so that you know what you're buying
Right.
versus just risking it.
Right. So you're getting educated
Right.
on it as well.
Exactly.
And that's really important.
It is.
Well,
it's a lot to know.
A lot to know. One of the things that I always wonder is, people are always like, they want things that are made in America, but do diamonds even come from America?
Well, what's amazing is there's probably one of the largest diamond deposits on the planet in Arkansas.
Really?
But it's in a state park, and they will not allow them to mine it.
Ooh.
Now, you can go there. A family can go there. And there was actually a family a few years ago that found a 5-carat diamond at
Serious?
this deposit. Yes, and you can, I think you can pan and do different things, to find diamonds there, but they allow you to do that.
Road trip.
Arkansas, here we come.
But you cannot. But they won't let anybody mine it.
A big mining operation.
Yes,
Right.
But it is a tremendous deposit.
What about in the Carolinas? We're like a gemological haven, aren't we? In the Carolinas?
I don't know.
Well, as far as I don't think for diamonds, I don't think
Right.
a lot of diamonds are found here. But
Rubies.
rubies and different
Emeralds,
stones, I
right?
think, yes. But they're not
didn't
near.
know that.
In most cases, they're not near the quality that you would get from like South America or other places that produce those gemstones.
Right.
Where do your diamonds normally come from? Your specific diamonds?
Well, almost all your diamonds are purchased at some point in time from De Beers, because De Beers is almost a monopoly on the diamond market.
Oh,
And they
okay.
control. They only release so many a year. Now, they basically have lost some of that control with some of the diamonds that have been found in Russia and so forth. A lot of those are leaking out into the market without going through De Beers. But for the most part, De Beers controls most of that, and that's why they can't have an office in the United States, because they are a monopoly.
So where are they?
They are in England.
Oh, okay.
Is where their office was located. And there's only certain people that are allowed to actually go to De Beers and purchase diamonds from them. And when you go, they will give you what they call a lot, which is a group of diamonds, and you will look at those, and you will either buy those or you will buy none. But the only thing you're really going to negotiate in that situation is the price of the diamonds.
Okay.
And if you refuse to buy them, you may not get back in the door next year. So,
So it's not like an auction. It's like a one. What is this person called? The Diamond Man. The diamond
there's
person.
brokers that
It's a
actually,
diamond broker?
there's diamond brokers that actually buy directly from De Beers, and
So they get to go in. They get an appointment or whatever. They get to go in and look at the lot that was chosen for them. Right.
They sit in like a room with the representative from De Beers, and they bring out the group of diamonds that they're presenting to this broker, and they look at those diamonds, and pretty much they start negotiating prices because.
And they have to buy the whole lot or none at all.
Right.
They can't just say, "Oh, I want those 3."
No, you don't cherry pick. You just. But that's how the market is. But
Right.
but the thing is De Beers has been able to, not only control that part of it, but it keeps the value up because only so many are released a year.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And
Well, it's really no different than any other commodity, because if you start producing more gasoline and it sits at, it's just sitting in a refinery or outside a refinery and they just store it, it's going to bring the price of gas down.
Right.
right.
Which is not a bad thing for us as consumers.
Yeah, yeah.
But for a market, in something like diamonds or gold or anything else, it can really affect the economy of the planet.
Sure.
So it's
Now, when these diamonds are presented to the diamond broker, they're obviously already cut. Are they cut and polished?
they are not.
So, but they're not showing them like this black rock.
No,
right?
but they're showing them a diamond in the rough, and and these brokers, these firms have cutters, or a lot of diamonds are cut in different places in the world today. India does a lot of cutting. There's a lot of places that do the cutting, but they will actually, have to cut these diamonds, and so it's and there again, it's a total different art, because the cutting process really determines the value of a diamond, because you can have a diamond in a rough, and if it's not cut correctly or something is cut wrong, a diamond is the hardest substance known to man, but they can shatter and basically explode if you don't work with the grains of the diamond and so forth to cut it. So
Right.
but it's
That'd have to be a stressful job, the diamond cutter's job.
well, I think some of these guys, what's amazing is it's such an art that they can look at a diamond in the rough and they basically know about what they're going to end up with. whether it's going to be a round, whether they can get, different cuts, because you have several different cuts of diamond. You have the round, you have princess cut, which most people are familiar with. You have Asher cuts and emerald cuts. And
Right.
the thing about an emerald cut is it almost has to be, perfect in clarity, because you're going to see everything, because it's
Right.
a clear
'cause it's-
shot at what's
It's a
inside.
rectangle, right?
Yes, but you can see everything in it, so it has to be pretty good in clarity and color,
Right.
to cut an emerald cut. But yeah, I mean it's
Because it doesn't have a lot of facets then. When it's
Correct.
an emerald cut, it's kind of smooth on the top.
it's very
and-
smooth on the top, and it's really, you can almost see right to the bottom of it from
Right. Right.
there's not a
So
lot of facets.
when the diamonds get to your store, they're already cut in the
Correct.
specific shapes. So if I were to come to the store and I had an idea for a ring,
Right.
then you're going to show me like the available options. Like you're going to show me the diamonds that I can pick from,
Correct.
kind of thing.
And if there's not something that I have, I can get diamonds in for whatever shape or whatever you want.
Right. But y'all don't do the cutting. You don't cut
We
the
do not.
diamonds in the store.
We do not.
Right. It's already the finished, polished diamond, right?
Correct. I don't really know of a jewelry store that really has a cutter on the premises, because all
Right.
of that is really completed before any jewelry store or
Sure.
anything would ever buy it.
Right, right. And so then the custom work that's done is in the setting of the stone.
Correct.
And that happens there at the jewelry store?
Correct. We have a designer that doesn't actually work on the premises, but we do have a jeweler that can set stones and so forth that is there. So if you pick out a setting, in my case, and you don't really need the custom work done, then I have a jeweler that can do all that.
Right.
Correct.
That's cool.
What if you already have the diamond that you want, but you want to pick the setting? Is that something you guys
Not a
can
problem.
do?
We'll do as much or as little as the customer wants us to do. If they need a diamond, we can provide it. If they have one and they're looking for a setting, yes, we'll do that too. And we'll just do the setting and set the diamond for them and so forth. And then we can still do an appraisal on the piece and provide that at no charge once the piece is completed.
You hear about these people that go on cruises and stuff, like they go to the Cayman Islands and they think, oh, I've got to buy jewelry, or oh, I've got to buy like some expensive alcohol or something, like duty-free stuff.
Oh, yeah.
What's your take on that? Is that like a smart thing to do?
Well, it all
duty-free.
depends on if you really know what you're doing, because what you have to understand is the United States has standards on 14 karat gold. Okay? Like if you see a ring and it's stamped 14 KP,
Right.
that means plum. It means it's not less than 14 karat in that ring.
Okay.
Okay? Now you can have 14 karat and it may only be 13.2, but it's within an accepted range
Okay.
to be considered 14 karat. In other countries, it's not that way. There's many countries, and unfortunately, our soldiers being overseas doing what they're doing, they will hit these markets and what they feel is a great deal. They're buying what is stamped as, say, 22 karat gold. Well, when we put it to an acid test, it's really 18. So by the time they talk the person down and get that deal they thought they were getting, they're really paying prime for 18 karat.
Overbuying, yeah.
So that's the thing. We have regulations in this country that really not only regulate the diamond industry, to as far as the diamond graders that work here, but also the gold industry and metal industry.
Right.
It's very regulated.
Right. Well, I know in like with trends, like it seemed like in the 80s, yellow gold was really popular. And then at some point it was like the tricolor, and then silver, white gold, or platinum. Is there a particular trend in the type of metal, or is it just personal preference now?
There is, and actually, if you look at most jewelry, that anything that really predates World War II, okay, it was all platinum, except for the yellow gold pieces that you found, because platinum was the metal that people used. But during the war, the platinum was needed for war materials.
Oh,
So they outlawed making jewelry with platinum.
really?
And that's pretty much when white gold came on the scene. It's when somebody created a piece and mixed the alloy so that the gold would be white. But most yellow gold, all gold is mined yellow. So that's why when you have a white gold piece, unless it's mixed with, they're actually introducing some metals now that they can mix with the yellow gold, so you never have to rhodium plate the ring. Because rhodium is a metal that adheres to the gold and makes it white.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Emma?
Yes, because most of your white gold rings, if they're are going to start getting a yellow tinge to them, they'll never turn completely yellow, but they will get like a yellow tint to them because the rhodium has worn off.
So then you have to have it replated.
Rhodium, right? Now they are using some of the designers and so forth. Now are using the gold and mixing it with palladium and other alloys, so that you never have to do that. So that has come a long way.
So it's the process has improved.
Absolutely, and it's really come a long way to where a lot of the things that are produced now are maintenance free. That you don't have to continue that. But even with the rhodium, you maybe have to do it once a year, or if you take the ring off before you get in the shower, which a lot of women don't.
Right.
Okay. Or lotions with petroleum and so forth can make that process speed up, to where it starts turning yellow earlier.
Right.
But if you take it off before you get in the shower or whatever, it may last for years.
Right. So, what is the preferred metal today? Is it because
That's
with
really
all these
hard to say.
stores buying up gold, I would think, and since gold is considered so precious, I would think that yellow gold would be more popular now. But I personally still prefer platinum. Like my wedding set is in platinum. I always thought platinum was a little more she.
Well, the great thing about platinum is you don't have to worry about any allergic reactions because it's a pure metal.
Uh-huh.
You don't have, because with yellow gold you may have copper, zinc, different metals that are mixed in with it. Because if you have 14 karat gold is 24 parts.
Okay.
With 24 karat gold is pure gold. If you have 14 karat gold, you have 14 parts gold, 10 parts metal alloys.
Oh,
If
okay.
you have, so it's actually when you put it down to a number, it's about 58.5% gold.
So if you want to get the gold, it needs to be 24 karat gold.
Well, you can't make jewelry with it because it's so brittle.
Oh.
You won't be able to wear it. That's why it's mixed with alloys. In jewelry, about the highest gold content you're going to find is maybe 22 karat, and then it's very soft.
So it
You
could be
can damage
damaged.
it absolutely. That's why you'll see a lot of 10 karat on men's rings because of the durability.
Right.
14 karat and 18 karat on most ladies. But 18 karat is basically about 75% gold.
Isn't platinum kind of soft too?
Platinum is much more dense. It's a heavier metal because it's more dense, but it is somewhat soft, but it's still very durable. I mean, it's hard to bend platinum, but it will not break in most cases like gold will on a prong or something.
Yeah, because I think I've bent the bottom of mine slightly.
Yeah.
It's got some scratches on it.
Well, if you bring it in, I can buff it and clean it, and we do that for people when they come in the store.
Oh, wonderful.
I can straighten the ring and buff it and clean it for you. We do that for anyone that walks in the door.
And you can do it while I wait?
Absolutely.
Very quick process?
Mhm.
Oh, that's good. So is
I mean,
platinum...
it depends on how damaged. If it's run over by a car or something,
No,
obviously
no,
I
no.
can't fix it, on the spot. But
No.
in most cases, yes.
Yeah.
And we do that at no charge. I mean, if you just want your jewelry clean, come into the store. We'll take
mine
care
needs
of
to be
it.
cleaned.
Absolutely.
I'm coming.
You do that.
Yeah.
I'll take
and
care of you.
I'm not one of those people who wears my ring in the shower. But, when you're in a public place, I'm not one of those people to take my ring off and put it on the side because I'm afraid I'm going to lose it or it's going to fall down the drain. So I always leave it on when I'm washing my hands, at the movie theater or something.
Right.
But it always gets like the side. I've got one of those rings where the diamonds are in a setting where you see the whole diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the peak down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And it always gets like some little film on it. I guess it's from the soap or maybe hard
you use
water
lotion
deposits.
on your hands?
Not with my ring.
You don't?
Not with my ring on.
Well, that's good. Don't. Okay. But yeah, I mean, you think about it. The ring is pretty much close to everything that you touch.
Right.
And it's gonna get film on it and stuff like. Well, we can clean that for you. Just bring it in.
Right. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's good to know.
So, the most popular setting? Is there a popular setting?
You know, you have a lot of vintage looks today that people have kind of gone back to, and that's been a trend for quite a while.
Like the antique-y looking
Yes.
styles.
Exactly.
I don't know if it would be considered Victorian or Renaissance. Is the trend maybe?
Well, it all depends. I mean, there's so many different styles that you have people that want something simple. You want people that want it's like a beaded look on the side, which is called a millgrain. And then you have you can get like a pave look. There's so many different styles. It's really, you almost have to just look and try some on, because it's almost like, I've never understood people buying shoes or clothes on the internet.
Right.
Because until I try something on, and it's a lot of shoes, you may love them, but they don't all fit the same.
Right.
Same thing with jewelry. You need to try it on and make sure you like it.
Right. See how it looks on your hand.
Exactly.
Right.
So that being said, when a guy comes in to buy an engagement ring for his potential fiance, what do you tell them? Like,
yeah, that's got to be tough.
Well,
Yeah.
a lot of times, the funny thing is most guys that come in have shopped a little bit and have an idea of the style that she likes. So, we can kind of work around that, or, they understand that some people are just very simple. They don't want to really get anything, with too much design on it, because they don't want to go overboard.
right.
So, we have everything from the most basic ring that you can, the simple old style, just a solitaire ring, or, we have the other end of the spectrum as well. So everything in between.
So, and I think that's one of those scary things for a guy, because, they want to impress this woman, right? They're
Right.
going to ask her to marry, and they're always afraid that the diamond that they pick is going to be too small, right? Don't you think that's a common concern?
They do, and it's a lot. A lot of times it's the woman's hand size or something of that nature. But it's really, I don't care what anybody says. I don't know that you could really get a diamond too big for a woman. It's. But the thing is, we have to. A lot of times it's more of affordability,
Right.
and being able to afford something. And the last thing I want to do is put somebody in a situation to where, they're starting off a relationship with the regrets of going so far financially in debt over a diamond. But the good thing about that is if you buy a ring or a diamond from us, we guarantee whatever you paid for as long as you have it. And you come in and you trade it in, you just go up double the value.
See,
So
I
you
like
always
that.
get 100% of what you paid for.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
She could accept his proposal,
And move up.
and then after 5 years, go, look,
Anniversaries.
honey, we need to trade up on
A lot
this.
of people do that.
That's a good idea.
How many people will, for example, if a guy proposes, she says yes, and basically she says, sure, as long as you get me a different ring. How many times has that happened?
I don't think I've experienced that. I mean, most when a relationship gets to that point, it's really about, they know that the person cared enough,
Right.
to do this.
I can't imagine anybody saying that.
But I mean, believe me though, I mean it has happened on maybe a couple occasions that I've since I've been doing this. But then again, is how strong is that relationship going to be anyway?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
think
when they're going to
about
have
that.
restyled in a few years and put in another setting because it just didn't work out.
Now, what is the customary thing if, say, the proposal doesn't work out?
I was just thinking that. Who gets the
she
ring?
says no. Does he get to bring the ring back, or is he stuck with it?
Correct. We will take it back.
So he'll get.
If there's a proposal, we actually just experienced that a couple of weeks ago. A guy, and they had been dating for several years, and he proposed, and she rejected him, and it was probably, up to probably a year on a broken engagement. I understand that. That's
That's
it's
delicate.
we try to do the right thing, and that's
Right.
I think if you do that just as a business model, then you really can't do the wrong thing. It's
Right.
Not doing what's right for the customer.
Right. Interesting. Now, what if she says yes, and then the day of the wedding backs out, and she keeps the ring? Do you ever have that situation where? I mean, I think
ends up on
that's
the
what I
people's
was-
court or something.
yeah, because
Yeah, that's
it's
what I was
supposed to
going
get
to
it back.
ask. There's
Yes.
there's a rule there, and I don't know what it is, but whoever breaks it off, somebody gets the ring, and I don't know the rules.
It's normally I think the man is supposed to get it back. I don't know that they always do. I mean, like I said, I've kind of channel surfed a couple of times and saw that situation on one of these programs in the afternoon, and normally the man will be awarded the ring back.
I think that he should get it back. I mean, he's the one that, doled out all the money for it.
Right.
So.
But then again, how many people take it to that level if they don't give it back? I don't know.
Interesting.
Fine
I know
line, I
Brother
guess.
did that.
Yeah. Well, I guess it would be kind of awkward if you knew the couple, they had been in the store, and she kept the ring, and then she tries to bring it back and trade up.
She can.
And she can.
She can.
I know a girl that tried to
I
do
mean,
that.
I can't stop that. I mean, it's
Right.
not for me to decide,
Right.
who gets the ring. I mean, I can't get involved in that.
That's right.
It's
That's a legal
business.
issue. That's just
That's
Yeah.
right, because we don't want to get ugly.
right. Exactly.
Now, what about colored? Like Jennifer Lopez in one of her engagements, maybe it was to Ben Affleck, I don't know, she had like a canary
Yeah.
diamond.
Yellow diamond.
So
What does that mean? Is
diamonds come
Well,
in
see-
different shades then.
They do come in different shades. You can get green diamonds, blue diamonds, red diamonds, pink diamonds, yellow diamonds, brown diamonds, many different colors.
Ugh.
What makes a diamond? It's just like the Hope diamond is a blue diamond.
Right.
Okay, the Hope diamond actually, it is boron that is inside of the diamond when it forms that causes it to be blue,
Huh.
and nitrogen causes it to be yellow.
See, I always thought diamonds had to be clear.
No,
So you've got clear diamonds and
Well, even if a blue diamond still has a certain clarity, correct?
correct. See, when you get involved in those colors, see on a diamond scale, you have what's rated from D is the best color because it's the most colorless you can get on a diamond.
Okay.
Then it goes down all the way down the alphabet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to a certain point, once you pass a certain point, it becomes a fancy color. Then it's valued completely different.
okay, so it's not devalued.
Right. It is to a certain extent
Okay.
until it reaches that fancy rating.
Okay.
Once it reaches that, the more color, the more it's worth.
So Jennifer Lopez's canary diamond, like whatever size that was, if it was in the crystal clear, would it have been more expensive, or is it more expensive because it was this vibrant canary color?
That's a great question. Probably
I stumped you.
the canary. Well, the canary is more rare
Okay.
than a clear diamond. So yes, it probably would have been worth more.
Okay.
Just like a blue or other colors, because they're not. A faint yellow is not considered very good. The deeper, if it's a really deep,
The more vibrant.
brilliant, yes, absolutely. That's a whole different story. And
Right.
and
the brown
much more
diamonds,
rare.
the brown diamonds, you're supposed to call them chocolate diamonds, right?
Well, you have champagne diamonds, you have chocolate diamonds, but there again, a lot of the clarity has to do with that too.
Right.
If a diamond has that type of color in it, and it's has good clarity, then it's not considered too bad. But
Right.
there again, it depends on the color, because you can have like a brownish color and it may not be considered a fancy color.
Right.
So
Is there a strawberry diamond? If
haven't
you have
seen
chocolate
one.
and you have champagne, you have to have strawberries.
It's
I
true.
haven't seen one, but
of
that
each.
doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
We need to have a Fort Mill Magazine strawberry diamond in honor of the Strawberry Festival.
There you go.
Let's work on
Great
that.
idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Just make
I
it
don't know
up.
where to find one, but yeah,
It just needs to be, well, would there be a red diamond
there's red. Yeah,
and a pink diamond?
pink diamond.
So it should be either a red or a pink. Probably red.
It's a
Right?
red.
How cool is that? So how can you tell if a red diamond is a red diamond and not a ruby?
Well, it will test as a diamond.
So
We have diamond testers at the store, so
Okay.
you can test it to see if it's a diamond.
right.
And it determines whether it's a white sapphire, or I don't know if you've ever heard of what's called a moissanite. A moissanite is a stone that actually it was discovered in the Canyon Diablo crater in Arizona
Okay.
by Henry Moisen. That's where the moissanite name came from.
Okay.
And it's actually they have found a way to actually grow these stones because it came from a meteor. It's not a natural mineral from the earth.
Right.
So he bought the rights to the site and basically, I guess you'd say, extracted all of the moissanite out of the site. And now they grow that stone. And it is second only to a diamond in hardness. It's a 9.25 on the hardness scale, so it's a very hard stone.
Mm-hmm.
And it sparkles, tremendously. The fire and brilliance you see from these stones are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why a lot of testers, the diamond testers, will have the moissanite, because they will test as a diamond if you simply have a diamond tester that doesn't have the moissanite light on it. It will actually test as a diamond, so people will try to sell those as diamonds when they're not. But there's normally a little bit of color in them.
Mm-hmm.
I've had quite a bit of experience with moissanite, so I know what to look for
Right.
in those stones. But they're beautiful stones. So there's many different types of stones that you can buy, and there's white, like I said, white sapphires. There's many things that people really buy in place of a diamond.
Right.
But it's normally in more fashion jewelry, more so than a centerpiece. And
Right. Like an
ring.
engagement ring. Yeah. But you do find that people are doing all kinds of different things because it is more looking back to the past.
Sure.
People did do emeralds and rubies and stuff in engagement
Sure,
settings.
and people still do. There are. It's few and far between, but people still do those
Right.
things. Absolutely.
Right.
And I have no problem with whatever someone wants.
Right.
That's it's up to them. It's my job to make sure that they get what they need.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about cubic zirconia? What is that?
It's really just
Is that a
glass.
man-made?
No, yeah, it's a man-made. It's just and I can normally pick those out when I see them. It's
Right.
It doesn't really look like a diamond. Now there's diamondiques. There's so many other things that are crystals and so forth. But it's
A diamondique's not a diamond either.
no.
So it's not even like a diamond chip.
No.
We girls want the real thing.
I understand.
That's for sure.
That's what we want too.
Yeah.
We
So
don't want
if-
to sell anything but the real thing. So.
So does it happen often that you have a soon-to-be bride who comes in and wants to know if she got the real thing or not?
Yes, and I've also had situations where the engagement has been broken off,
Wow.
and the ex-fiance brings a ring in, and it is not real.
Ooh.
That has happened too. So at that point, she's glad she got rid of him. So
Yeah. Yeah, because, let's face it. If he's passing it off, it would be different if he said, this is not real, this is temporary.
Right.
Right.
But if he's passing it off like it's a real rock,
exactly.
that's a trust issue.
But
It's a cheap issue.
what if he got ripped off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
What
possible.
if he didn't know enough and didn't go to a reputable store
Right,
Then I
and
wouldn't break up
actually
with him.
was passed to him as if it was real?
right.
That's why you need to be educated.
That's why you need to go to Lyons Jewelers,
Absolutely.
get the
We
right
will educate
education. Well, this is a great time to be talking about this because, I know fall has just become, autumn has just arrived, but this is the time to start thinking about Christmas.
Right.
And then before you know it, you're going to blink your eyes and then Valentine's.
And New Year's. Is
What-
this the biggest time of the year for you guys as far as proposals go?
Normally the spring is the biggest part for engagements,
Wouldn't
where
have
you
thought
sell
that.
most diamonds. Most of this point on into the Christmas season is more fashion and timepieces, watches, and that sort of thing. It's
Right.
more of the fashion. But not to say that people don't get engaged for Christmas. I'm not saying, but it is not the biggest time of the year when you sell those pieces.
Right.
Interesting.
but people do.
Right. Because you do hear about, people getting engaged on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve.
That's when almost all,
and then
my
Valentine's.
Facebook was blowing up all last winter. Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the thing that I love about the bridal side of the industry, because when I originally took over or started to manage the Lyons Jeweler store, there wasn't as big a focus on the bridal side of the store. And that is something that I noticed right away, because one thing I know, especially, in an economy such as we have, that it is probably the most recession-proof part of the business of anything, because no matter how bad things get, people fall in love and get engaged. And
Right.
that's a difference between the fashion end of it and the bridal side. And really what I love about the bridal side is, especially in the jewelry industry, you build relationships with people. Not only are you there to sell, but I can remember when I worked for a company in St. Augustine, Florida, where I've lived for the past several years, and I had a young lady come in, and we actually sold the art carve class rings out of that store.
Oh, okay.
And she came in and bought a class ring from me, and then 7 years later, I sold her engagement ring. And my daughter was the flower girl in her wedding. So you really do build relationships with people in the jewelry industry if you're doing the right things for the right reasons. It's not as much about the money as it is making sure that you're doing what's in the best interest of that person in front of you.
Right.
And that's really what it boils down to. It is relationships, and that's really what I don't look at anything as we just want to get a sale and get somebody out the door. It's about, what can we do to give this person the best possible experience they can have, so that not only are they going to come and visit us because they know they've been treated right, but also the people in their lives, that they'll bring to us as well. So it's a neat industry. It really is, because you
Right.
really find out a lot about people in this process.
Right. Well, and I think that a lot of people are intimidated. A lot of times when you go to a jewelry store, there might be guards, or they might have to buzz you in, and that can be a little intimidating to people. But one of the things that I noticed about your store is everybody's very warm and friendly. When you walk in, you do have to get buzzed in, but still,
Right.
when you walk in, you're greeted. You've got people right there, greeting you. And beautiful stuff. Every counter, eye candy everywhere.
we have a lot of beautiful merchandise. Of course, we carry David Yurman and Charles Croppell, who actually we're doing a Charles Croppell show on the 5th and 6th of October, and Charles will actually be in the store.
Oh,
And
so that's next week.
absolutely. And he comes and he actually brings a lot more merchandise than we normally carry, because
So he's the jewelry designer.
absolutely, he is a designer, and he is so good to the people when they come in. He is such a great person to just talk to. He really is a great individual, and designs such beautiful merchandise.
Wow.
And so we love having him at the store, and then we also we carry other things. We have we carry a lot of Swiss timepieces, Rolex, and then also we carry the ball watch, which is coming out with the BMW.
Yes, and tell us,
yeah.
because you told me a neat story about the ball watch. Share
Right.
that.
Well, the ball, it goes back a long ways, and it actually started in the 1800s. And what it was is the railroad was having a hard time with the trains being on time, and they also had some accident problems. And so Ball actually created a timepiece so that they could synchronize everyone, within the industry, and it eliminated a lot of those problems. But that's where the saying came, on the ball. Because they'd say, is a train on time? And they'd say, we're on the ball, because that was the watch that really that came from.
Right.
So it's a pretty big piece of American history.
Yeah, that's very cool. And so you were sharing with me that BMW has teamed up with them, and they're going to be making a signature watch, and those you'll have in the store
In
soon.
October, yes, we're coming out, and they're coming out with a complete line with the BMW insignia on there. So it's beautiful line. I think people are really going to like it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming and educating us. I mean, I really feel educated.
Yeah, it was great.
I didn't realize.
I appreciate it very much. It's good to be here. It really is. I enjoy it.
It's fun, right?
Yeah, it is.
Well, you'll have to come back again.
Well, I didn't know the questions I was going to be asked, but it was. I think it was good for me too, because
Good. Well, I only stumped you once, so I'm going to have to make it tougher next time.
Score one for you.
So tell us again, the event that you have next week is what date and what time?
It's actually from 10 o'clock to 6 on Friday and Saturday, October 5th and 6th.
Okay.
Next Friday and Saturday. And Charles Croppell will be at our store, and he will be presenting his line, and he's a great person. Just come by and meet him. He's just a great individual, and the merchandise is just exquisite. It really
Wonderful.
is.
And then, if they want more information, they want to know the address and all that, they're going to go to lionsjewelers.com.
Correct. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, that was super interesting.
Yes. Learned a lot.
Lots. But that's the end of our show. Now we will say goodbye.
Time to say goodbye. But follow us on our, go to our website, fortmillmagazine.com.
Yes.
And our Twitter.
At Fort Mill Mag.
And Facebook.
At Fort Mill Mag.
And like us and follow us and
every other kind of thing.
Share us.
Yeah.
And we'll love you forever.
Right. And we'll see you next week.
See you then.